So maybe you're a CTO or a CISO. Your company could be in retail, manufacturing, or perhaps technology. No matter your core business, there's no denying that networking and security play a vital role in your daily operations. Unfortunately, we've grown more dependent on modern technologies, and these technologies have become more complex. System and application failures, network failures, and security risks directly impact the ability to do business, and in some cases with catastrophic and expensive consequences. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Telecom Perspectives. My name is David Ayers, Senior Product Marketing Manager for Service Providers here at Infoblox. And since we're talking about managed services, joining me today is an expert on this topic, Suzanne Ronca, Director of Sales for Managed Service Providers at Infoblox. Suzanne, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
The rapid pace of development in the telecommunications industry means that managed service providers, or MSPs, as well as managed security service providers, or MSSPs, need to consistently provide end customers with the most up-to-date services and solutions across networking and security. Now, in the past, these two areas have often been siloed, but in today's world, they are intrinsically connected and need to be addressed holistically. MSPs can win new business and provides even stickier solutions to existing customers by utilizing managed network and security services to meet end customers' challenging demands. In addition, the Great Resignation is a brand new opportunity for MSPs to capitalize on shrinking technical resource pools. And they're doing that now. But Suzanne, we often describe to our MSP partners that despite their managed service offerings, many have what we've described as a critical gap within their portfolio that they may not even be aware of. Can you perhaps give us a brief overview of Infoblox and explain just what we mean by that critical gap?
Well, thanks, David. I'd like to start with an overview of Infoblox. The Infoblox mission is to empower organizations to manage their continuously evolving and growing networks more simply and more securely. And we have three key pillars that support this mission. The first, core network services or control. The second, cloud network automation. And third, cybersecurity. By core network services, I mean the core services that run the internet. These are DNS, DHCP, and IP address management, or IPAM, with the overall acronym coined by Gartner as DDI. Without DDI, there's no internet communication. But with effective DDI, you can control your network. A simple analogy I often use is to think of DDI as the yellow pages of the internet. For those of you who remember the old thick phone books, one could look up a name or a business and find a person's phone number. In today's world, the internet works similarly. You have a domain name, such as google.com, and the associated phone number or IP address in the internet world, which is 8.8.8.8. In this new world, the DNS server is the phone book that does the translation and routes your internet request to that Google server at the destination, much like dialing a phone number takes you to the person at the other end. The second pillar of Infoblox offerings is cloud network automation. Automation is critical in today's world, where much of the IT action is moving to virtual environments, whether they be public cloud, private cloud, or customer data centers. So first, you need centralized visibility to know what IP addresses are out there. Second, we need to be able to manage overlapping IP address space when conflicts happen, whether it be from acquisitions or from public overlaps with private IP space. And third, we need to be able to spin up and tear down resources in seconds and not have to wait for the keeper of the master Excel file who might have those IP addresses and he's off to lunch. After all, one of the main benefits of cloud and virtualization is agility, so we need to be able to move very quickly. In short, customers today need enterprise-grade IP address management. We even have one partner who built their entire MSP practice out of just IP address management with visibility and automation capabilities. Moving to our third pillar of capability, we have security. And David, this is where we find that gap you mentioned earlier. Allow me to explain. Many years ago, the bad guys figured out that DNS, which needs to travel over port 53, needed to remain open to allow DNS to function. Hence, they began to use DNS as a way to propagate malware to help establish command and control inside a customer's network. And once they established control, the bad guys would probe around for valuable files and secrets on the network, and then take that data, chunk it up into little small pieces, and insert it into the DNS packets. They then return these infected packets back to their bad guy base while flowing through firewalls and intrusion prevention devices, secure web gateways, and other traditional security tools. And so therein is the security gap. As that data is enveloped within the DNS packet, it looks correct to those other security tools. Hence, they'll allow this traffic to flow all day long, essentially oblivious to the data leak. Only by looking inside the DNS packet with behavioral analytics can we find the malicious behavior and stop it. And this is really the secret sauce of Infoblox. The other tools can't do this DNS packet inspection without significant performance impacts. That is why we recommend that customers and MSSPs add DNS security as another layer in the multiple tiers of defense when it comes to protecting a network and closing this critical gap. And lastly, across all of these capabilities, we have management and visibility of network assets via centralized console that may be hosted on-premise or hosted by Infoblox in a cloud-native solution. This provides detailed reporting and analytics for the IT staff and their management.
Okay, well, that's great. So another question, there are many vendors that offer DDI products like Microsoft, Blue Cat, Efficient IP, and several others. So considering that, what is the value of Infoblox to the MSPs?
Well, for DNS and DHCP, there is pretty much feature parity within the industry for on-premise DDI and the core network solution. But where Infoblox excels is in 4 additional areas where we continue to invest in development and resources. And that first is, I talked about earlier, cloud automation. So we have hybrid solutions that support public and private cloud as well as on-premise. In addition, we've built a cloud-first architecture called Blox One, where we're putting our management into the cloud to allow for simplicity, scalability, and better performance. Second is our visibility solution. Our IPAM includes a discovery engine that will scan the layer 2 layer devices to get an accurate inventory of what is on a network. In addition, we have an advisor function, which provides information about vulnerabilities against a specific operating system or product version, as well as end of life and end of service information. This is very powerful, and we support over 65 vendors' products in this tool. We're also adding SD-WAN vendors like Meraki and Viptela and VeloCloud into the discovery functionality, which is unmatched in the industry, as you'll get an underlay and an overlay view of your assets. This network discovery is also a great service for managed service providers, which they can offer to their customers, as customers often don't have an accurate inventory of their assets. The third area is security. Infoblox has built our security from the ground up. We offer a hybrid approach with an on-premise and a cloud option to meet the various needs of our customers. Many of our competitors do not have an integrated DNS security capability. Instead, they partner with other vendors to just add that cloud security component to their on-premise DDI. By doing this, you lose many of the benefits of an integrated solution that allows for faster response to security incidents and sharing of information across multiple vendor products, like the IP address or the machine type or the time the device was on the network. To further expand on this information sharing, we have the fourth area, which is ecosystem integrations. Infoblox plays very well with others, whether they be security tools like firewalls or vulnerability scanners, SIM or SOAR solutions, or help desks like ServiceNow. Going back to the earlier chart, we have over 100 integrations and can easily add more through our open APIs, which both send and receive data. I say we make other solutions more intelligent and more efficient by helping share that information like IP address or machine type across the various tools and environment. This is especially important for the security operations team, where we can help them find the who, the when, and the where of a suspected security incident. Furthermore, assisting customers with integrations is also a great revenue generator for an implementation or professional services team as part of the managed service provider.
So Suzanne, I know we could talk for hours on products, but at a high level, how does an MSP fit Infoblox into their solution set to build out managed service offerings, or even to give additional value to their existing offerings?
Well, thank you, David. This is my favorite question. I love this discussion because my passion is working with partners to help build service offers with our products. Now, from an Infoblox perspective, we have a few basic services which our partners offer. I've talked about a few of them along the way, like implementation services, but these are more of the core base of offers. The first is the traditional Managed DDI, based on NIOS, which is our operating system. This is where a partner deploys our infrastructure, whether it be appliances or virtual machines, into a customer environment and then remotely manages that solution, most often usually with a VPN. The solution is a highly available solution that gives great visibility and availability to the customers. The great part of this offer is that our service can complement any of our partners' existing offerings, as DDI is foundational for all the network services offered by an MSP, whether it be a managed LAN, managed router, or an SD-WAN architecture. As an add-on to the managed DDI offer, we can also offer a managed secure DDI offer, where the partner adds the Infoblox Blox1 threat defense service to their offer. And this helps protect the DNS channel from malicious activity. Ideally, the customer also runs Infoblox on-premise, which will give them a very robust solution with local survivability. And even if they do not, they can offer a cloud-only version of Blox1 Threat Defense, which can be added to our competitor solutions. In addition to the Blox1 Threat Defense, we also have a solution for the Infoblox DDI customers called Advanced Dns Protection. The value of this service is that it protects the actual DNS server from denial of service attacks, which can bring down the server or severely impact its performance. It's an excellent complement to an existing DDoS service often provided by the service providers, because it protects the DNS server from the slower under-the-radar attacks, which are usually not caught by the DDoS offers as they look for the extensive volumetric attacks that bring down the internet. In addition to these, we also have an exciting new offer from Infoblox, which is based upon our Blox1 platform and provides protection for customers with many branches who are moving towards direct internet access or SD-WAN architectures. In short, it's called Blox1 DDI, and it's a small, lightweight VM or container deployed at the customer remote sites, but managed via the Infoblox infrastructure in the cloud. The beautiful part of this service is that it eliminates the burden of deploying and maintaining the management components of the Infoblox architecture, what we call the grid manager. Further, it's a SaaS cloud-native architecture which supports active updates which do not need end customer interaction. So it's ideal for retail and manufacturing businesses with performance and local internet breakout needs. As you can see from the diagram, Blox1 DDI can be standalone. It can work in conjunction with our traditional DDI, or it can also work with Blox1 Threat Defense Security.
So Suzanne, that's really interesting. You mentioned retail and maybe some of the other verticals. So let's say I'm a retail customer of one of our MSPs. What happens if I can't get out to, let's say, the cloud app? Let's say that, what's the type of thing that's going to happen if DNS isn't working at that local branch? Because you were talking about survivability.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Infoblox promotes a hybrid architecture. Some of our competitors are, when our customers are asking for everything in the cloud, but the challenge becomes if you lose that connectivity to the cloud, you can shut down your business. Yeah. So if you have a DNS server there locally and you lose your internet connection, you can still do daily functions, use your printers, communicate with other folks on the LAN, and continue operations until you can get that internet connection back up. But it does provide you with that survivability in the event of a catastrophic outage.
That's very important. And I've seen it firsthand what happens. Even if there's a simple minor outage, everything just grinds to a halt there. So let's change gears just a bit. Whether MSPs want to integrate secure DDI capabilities as part of an existing bundled offer or provide a standalone option, it sounds as if Infoblox can definitely help. So what are the main advantages of partnering with Infoblox?
Well, first, we can help build an additional revenue stream, or at least add to your existing monthly recurring charges that you might receive from a customer. So as I described earlier, DNS and IP address management are a perfect complement to existing network and security managed services. We are a foundational component of any bundle and can help enhance that end user experience, which helps increase stickiness and improve retention for the partner. Second, we offer an on-premise and a cloud-based solution that meets diverse customer needs, as we recognize that one size does not fit all. As I discussed earlier, we also help reduce investment expense for the MSP by using our BloxOne cloud native platform to deliver our services. Third, we have flexible business models and specializations available, as well as increased product discounts for our partners, recognizing that we are typically just a small part of their overall service offerings. And lastly, we provide increased training and greater access to Infoblox resources to help get our partners up and running quickly. We also provide a channel account manager to help align our sales teams with the partners so that we can do some joint selling in the field.
Okay, that's fantastic. So given those advantages, I've got to think you have a noteworthy use case that you might be able to mention of how an MSP has used Infoblox to solve a particular customer challenge.
We have a lot of great use cases, a lot of them around centralized IP address management. But one particularly noteworthy implementation was with a multinational gas company. And due to growth through acquisitions, they had several products in their environment, many of our competitors with no single standard. But they were also really concerned about security, especially given the Colonial Pipeline outage that occurred last year. So our partner won the bid on the business, and they did the initial implementation as well as they're doing the ongoing management. Since then, they have moved them off of the individual products. They're now all on a standardized Infoblox DDI platform with a DNS security capability. And their new CSO is delighted with the results, especially with the visibility and the ability to use that DDI data when responding to security incidents. He feels much more secure now than he probably did 2 years ago, even though he wasn't there 2 years ago.
Well, Suzanne, this has been a great discussion, and I definitely appreciate your time. So I guess one sort of parting message, whether the folks out there watching this are customers of MSPs, or if they're actually, they are the MSPs themselves, what would you like for folks to take away from what we've discussed today?
Well, David, I really appreciate the discussion and the questions. So as a takeaway, I would first like to address the managed service providers or the managed security service providers. Think about adding Infoblox DDI and secure DNS services to your portfolio. This will allow you to increase your recurring revenue while providing value-added services to your customers, which in turn will help with retention in today's competitive landscape. In addition, Infoblox is a product set that can help you with the convergence of network and security, which is becoming very important in customers' environments, especially to support the inherent elasticity and scalability of the cloud. Indeed, Infoblox can help you lower your costs with automation and our ecosystem integrations, as well as reduce your time to react to security incidents. If you'd like more information, please reach out to your Infoblox channel manager and they can get in touch with me and we can have a discussion. Now, if I switch my gears here and put on my customer hat, I know DNS is important to my business. I also know that if I have a security incident, it could be detrimental to my company and possibly my job. Yeah. So even though I may have thought about using an MSP or an MSSP, perhaps I will explore the option as it's going to give me more time to focus my resources on tasks vital to the company business, while I outsource some of those networking and security tasks where the MSPs have extensive experience. It also allows me to drive global SLAs in a shared risk model and leverage the experts during this time of staffing shortages and cybersecurity skills gap. This is especially important in the security area where the threat landscape is growing more brutal every day and the bad guys are innovating faster than customers can fight back. Yep. So in closing, let me leave the customers with one of my favorite questions. And the question is, what is your reaction when your manager asks you, have you explored a managed service provider to deliver this? Mm-hmm. Now, do you A, run for the hills, B, hide your head in the sand and hope it goes away and he or she forgets, or C, embrace it. And my suggestion is that you give that embracement a try. Thank you,
Absolutely.
and I appreciate your time watching this video.
And thank you, Suzanne, for joining me, and everyone, thank you very much. And for our viewers today, if you want to learn more about Infoblox, you can always visit us online at infoblox.com. We welcome you to connect with us on LinkedIn or Twitter. Simply search for Infoblox. And if you happen to have a specific question, for example, if you want to reach out to your channel manager or account executive and just don't necessarily have their email address handy, you can send an email to info@infoblox.com. We will get you in touch with the right person to assist you. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.